Joe, is it okay if you make a mistake? Tell me with your voice or touch my hand. Is that okay? Is it okay if you make a mistake? What do you think? Is it okay if I make a mistake sometimes? If we're driving somewhere and I get lost and I go left instead of right, is that okay? Does it come out okay, usually? I get lost a lot. Poor Joe. So today we're continuing our discussions about supported decision making, which is an alternative to guardianship. And Joe and I have been working with, well, I, as Joe's communication partner, have been working with an advocacy organization called the Center for Youth Voice, Youth Choice, and the Georgia chapter of that project, which is called I Decide Georgia. And DECIDE is an acronym for all the different terms involved in supported decision making, the different themes. So D stands for direct, E is enlist, C is choose, I inform, D determine, and E is experience. And today we are doing the last letter, E, experience. Experience. So this is really about experience guides you in making decisions over time, right? Whether you have a disability or not, whether you're a young person thinking about your future after high school, or you're a parent of a child going into middle school. It's experience that helps you learn how to make better decisions over time. The more you practice, which is experience, building experience, the more you'll learn and accomplish. And you need experiences as you're growing up, going through life, no matter how old you are, to help you learn what works best for you and gives you opportunities as you're doing these different things to experience the world. It gives you opportunities to try new things. So Gabby, our fabulous graphic artist who's helping us, designed this for us to help explain experience, the concept of experience. So here am I, and I say, it's okay to make mistakes. That shows we learn. And then here's Joe with questions all around his head. And just like everything else, making good decisions is a skill that takes time and practice. So that is the truth, isn't it? Everything that you learn how to do as you're becoming an adult and making decisions about adult things, where to live, what kind of job you want, what do you want to do after high school, all of those things require experience in making decisions. So, Joe, do you remember, I'm going to give you some examples of experiences that Joe has had that have helped get him to where he is today. So Joe, do you remember when the recreation department had a cheer squad and I brought you to it and you really didn't like cheering? Do you remember that? You didn't want to do it when we got there? Touch my hand if you remember that. Or tell me with your voice. Do you remember that? We got there and there were all the cheerleaders there and there were other kids that you knew, but you did not want to go out on the floor and do the cheering stuff. Do you remember? Touch my hand if you remember that. He's smiling at me. Joe is really nice about not wanting to hurt people's feelings. He just didn't want to do it that day. And I think he liked the cheerleaders, but he did not want to be in the cheer squad. There have been other things like I've taken Joe to like a volleyball game at the high school, and he did not like the sound of the buzzers. And it was a really uncomfortable situation for him. So we learned that Joe likes to watch sports, like he likes to go to baseball games, but indoor sports with that big buzzer going off is not his jam. Same with concerts. Joe loves outdoor concerts, but inside, it's not that great. We've also learned that the facilities for Joe, like if he needs to use the restroom, a lot of times they're not, even though they're handicap accessible, they're not adapted for people like Joe who have a little different need. And we're learning through experiencing things what works for Joe and what doesn't. And the nice thing about that is as Joe develops his identity as a disability advocate, we can use our experiences to help inform Joe as he moves forward doing this work of disability advocacy and our creation of Joe's supported decision-making team. So thanks for letting us, come on and do these talks about our efforts to get Joe's supported decision-making plan put together. Thanks for putting up with all the mistakes and learning experiences I have had putting these Transition Tuesday with Jane and Joe videos together. I'd also like to thank the Center for Youth Voice and Youth Choice, and Gabby, and Dana Lloyd, and I Decide Georgia, and we really have had fun making this series. We may make one or two others as we continue our process of learning how to do supported decision making. It is not you write down a plan and you're done. It is something that evolves over time. And so we'll be sharing as we go along. But thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you next time.